just ask them like the questions, and then they'll tell you the answers. And then that will have them buy into what needs to be done. You just need to guide them to the answers. So just by asking questions.
It's a playbook.
It's a playbook.
We talked a little bit recently about how to be a successful agent.
Okay.
But let's take it let's add a word to that. How to be a successful sales agent.
Ooh, what's the recipe? Are we going to go through the recipe and the ingredients for that?
I have 4 ingredients that we can bake into this cake.
Is there going to be frosting on this cake?
Well, if you want to say that 3 of the things are ingredients and 1 is the frosting, then absolutely. All right. So
let's dive in.
Number one, you got to have a script. A lot of sales agents and even agency owners don't like the idea of a script.
Right. And I will say this was a hindrance when I first did our first script, was trying to have a good script. Yeah. But here's the thing. You don't have to have a good script. You just have to have a script and then constantly improve on it. But even a bad script, if you take the time to write it out, will be 10 times better than anything that anybody's saying without a script, because they're in the heat of the moment and they get off track, and it's just really to keep you on track.
Right. You can have a GPS, you can have a compass, but you need something to help get you there.
Yep.
And I know when we first opened the third office that the script there was a lot of pushback on that. But what happened was it really helped us, A, with training, and B, with helping, those calls that they get totally off track. They're in the weeds talking about some other thing over here, not the insurance, which is fine, but they could get so far out there that this call then takes an hour. And we want to be able to have something to pull ourselves back into. And when we get into the icing on the cake, if there's no script, it's very difficult to do that fourth thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
Tastes good.
Yep. And really to do any of the things here that we're going to go into. So
number two,
we've got to practice. We need daily meetings. You have to meet daily. If you're not meeting daily, then you can't practice. And what happens is it will slowly revert to being a very weak delivery on those calls.
Yep. And let's say it doesn't even get worse, which of course it will. But even if it's not getting better, why would you want to be in that place? You got to get better, right?
Right.
You got to practice.
Yeah. You can't, you just can't get better. There's no thing in life where doing some sort of practice on it doesn't improve it.
2 objections to meetings. 1, I don't have time for it. Well, what if everybody was twice as good? Wouldn't that add a bunch more hours to your day? So that's 1. The other objection is, I don't even know what to talk about. Talk about anything. Like, honestly, if you get everybody together, like, they're going to gel. It's going to be the time that they can kind of let loose, kind of get each other's back. You can kind of goof off a little bit, and that's even productive. But beyond that, like, if you really want to be productive, just go over like objection handling, go over the script.
Yeah. I mean, as Dave Matthews said, to talk about the weather if you have to.
I didn't know he said that.
Yeah, I think that's the lyrics. Maybe it's not good enough.
Well, he wrote a lot of songs, and I'm sure that might be in one of them.
Yep, it has to be. Number 3. Offer up number 3.
Number 3. Listen to your salespeople's calls. Why?
But my phone system doesn't record it. Well, get one that does, because this is one of the biggest differentiators. Because when they hear themselves on the phone and hear them saying the most absurd things in the world, what happens? They stop saying those absurd things and they start getting better. We can't review the tape and and improve on that script, improve on the practice if we're not even looking at what we're doing, right?
Yep.
Bill Belichick went and videotaped the other team practicing because it was that important to look and see what's going on. Now, of course, that wasn't allowed, but we have to at least track our own people, right? And we got to listen
I have
to them.
no idea who that is.
It's okay.
But
I knew. Yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
You do. And number 4.
Well, let me just one more objection on that one would be if it's awkward or I don't know what to say when reviewing the call. Trust me, them listening to the call says it all. Like, ask them what they think of the call. Ask them if they what they think that they can improve upon. Just ask them like the questions, and then they'll tell you the answers. And then that will have them buy into what needs to be done. You just need to guide them to the answers. So just by asking questions.
And guess what? If there's a script, then you know what they're supposed to say on the call.
That's true.
Right? If there's a script and you even put times, like let's say if the call is only supposed to be 20 minutes long, then we can allocate certain time to parts of the call. We could get there, right? We could say, look, you were on the rapport building part for 75 minutes. We're supposed to only be in there for 5. So what's going on?
And here's the thing. You sit down. I used to sit down when we'd listen to the call. I would just say, you know what to do. He's like, yeah, I know. Like you really don't have to say much. I mean, it's amazing. Pretty evident in those while listening back. Number 4, bring it home, Mr. Craig.
Numero 4 is track and measure daily activity.
Ew,
right? They don't want to do it. You don't want to do it, but you got to do it because if we cannot track what we don't measure, we cannot manage what we don't track. All of that. We
can't improve upon
what
you can't constantly improve without tracking and measuring. And the whole idea is like you want to grow your agency, right?
Yes.
Or at least you don't want to just stay still. I mean, think about with the rate of inflation these days. You better be growing. If
you're not growing, you die.
Shrinking.
You die, right?
Yeah.
We got to put in the time, and we have to track and measure. It's not hard. I mean, at Mr. Jason, well, both of our agencies, they have to report at the end of the day, whether it's a text, whether it's an email, whether it's in some sort of communication, other software, whatever. Make sure that you get those numbers because the activity is what leads to the results, and we got to track and measure that stuff.
And that's a playbook.
That's a playbook.